Sarah's eyes snapped open at 3:47 a.m. The red digits of her alarm clock burned into her vision, but she couldn't turn her head to look away. She couldn't move at all. Her bedroom was draped in shadows. The familiar shapes of her dresser and closet door transformed into something sinister in the darkness. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she realized what was happening: sleep paralysis again. The third time this week. But this time was different. A figure stood in the corner by her closet, tall, impossibly thin, with limbs that seemed too long for its body. Sarah tried to scream, tried to move even a finger, but her body remained a prison. The figure didn't move. It simply watched with eyes that reflected the red glow of her alarm clock like an animal's. Minutes crawled by. The figure began to move, not walking but gliding across her carpet without disturbing the air. It approached her bed with agonizing slowness, and Sarah could hear a sound now, a wet, rhythmic breathing that didn't sync with the rise and fall of the thing's chest. When it reached her bedside, it leaned down. She could smell it now, a mixture of damp earth and something rotting. Its face was featureless except for those reflective eyes, and a mouth that opened too wide, revealing row after row of needle-thin teeth. "I've been watching you sleep for months," it whispered, its breath cold against her face. "You only see me when you're paralyzed. But I'm always here." The creature's elongated fingers reached toward her face, and just as they were about to touch her skin, Sarah felt the paralysis break. She bolted upright, gasping, alone in her room. The corner was empty. Her closet door was closed. But on her nightstand, she found something that made her blood run cold. A single long, pale hair that wasn't hers. And in the carpet by her bed, there were impressions, as if something heavy had been standing there for a very long time. Sarah didn't sleep the rest of that night, or the next. But when exhaustion finally claimed her 3 days later, she woke again to paralysis. And this time, the figure brought friends. 5 of them stood around her bed in a circle, all watching with those terrible reflective eyes. "We're patient," the first one said. "Eventually, you'll stop waking up." The paralysis lifted and they vanished. But Sarah knew the truth now. They were always there, just beyond the veil of her perception, waiting for those moments when her mind surfaced, but her body lagged behind. And one night, she feared she might not break free at all. Marcus felt the weight before he opened his eyes. Something was sitting on his chest, pressing down with such force that each breath became a struggle. When his eyes finally fluttered open, he saw it. A small child, perhaps 7 or 8 years old, sat perched on his sternum. But something was profoundly wrong. The child's head was tilted at an unnatural angle, neck clearly broken, and its skin had the gray pallor of death. Its eyes were milky white, pupils rolled back, and its mouth hung slack. Marcus tried to move, to throw the thing off, but his body wouldn't respond. The paralysis had him in its grip. The dead child simply sat there, growing heavier with each passing second. Marcus's ribs creaked under the pressure, and he wondered if they might actually crack. Then the child's head snapped upright with a sound like breaking wood. Those dead eyes fixed on Marcus's face, and the slack mouth slowly curved into a smile that revealed blackened teeth. "You hit me," the child said in a voice like gravel. 3 years ago, corner of Maple and 5th. You didn't even stop." Marcus's mind reeled. 3 years ago, he'd been driving home late from a party. He'd had a few drinks. Nothing too serious, he told himself. There had been a thump, and he'd looked in his rearview mirror. But the street was empty. He'd convinced himself it was just a pothole, maybe a raccoon. He'd never checked. "I waited under your car for so long," the child continued, its weight increasing until Marcus thought his chest would collapse. "My neck was broken. I couldn't move. I just listened to you drive for 3 more miles before you parked in your garage and went to bed. I died in your garage, under your car, while you slept." Tears streamed down Marcus's paralyzed face. He wanted to apologize, to scream, to confess, but his mouth wouldn't work. "Every night I come here," the child said, leaning closer. "Every night I sit on your chest and make you feel what I felt, the weight, the inability to move, the terror. And every night I get a little heavier." The child's face was inches from his now. "Eventually, Marcus, I'm gonna be so heavy that you won't wake up. Your ribs will crack, your lungs will collapse, and you'll die just like I did, unable to move, unable to scream, alone in the dark. The paralysis broke suddenly, and Marcus gasped, clutching his chest. The child was gone, but his ribs ached as if something truly had been sitting there. He looked at his clock. 30:47 a.m. in the morning. Marcus drove to the police station to confess to a hit and run. But when he gave them the location and date, they found no record of any accident, no missing child, no body ever discovered. Yet every night at 3:47 a.m., Marcus wakes to that crushing weight and those milky eyes. And every night, the child gets a little heavier. He started to hear his ribs creaking. Elena's bedroom mirror had been there when she moved in, a massive antique thing with an ornate gold frame that the previous tenant had left behind. She'd meant to replace it but never got around to it. Now, frozen in sleep paralysis, she wished she'd thrown it out the first day. Her bed faced the mirror, and in her paralyzed state, Elena could see her own reflection, or what should have been her reflection. The woman in the mirror was lying in the same position, eyes open like Elena's, but she was smiling. Elena wasn't smiling. Elena was screaming internally, trying desperately to move. The reflection sat up. Elena remained flat on her back. "I've been waiting so long for this," her reflection said, though Elena's own mouth didn't move. The reflection stood and approached the glass from the other side, pressing its palms against the mirror's surface. "Do you know what it's like to be trapped in here? To watch you live my life?" Elena's eyes widened in horror as cracks began to spider web across the mirror's surface, originating from where the reflection's hands pressed. The woman who lived here before understood. The reflection continued. "She knew about me. That's why she left the mirror. She trapped me in here years ago, switched places with me. But she made a mistake. She got too comfortable in this world. Forgot to be careful." The cracks spread further, and Elena could hear the glass beginning to groan under pressure. She'd walked in front of a bus 6 months ago. The reflection said with Elena's own smile twisted into something cruel. "So now I've been waiting for someone new, someone to trade places with. And you've been perfect, sleeping in front of me every night, never once thinking to cover the mirror or turn it around." The glass shattered. Elena's paralysis broke at the same moment, and she scrambled backward in her bed. But when she looked up, ready to see her doppelganger standing in her room, she saw only the broken mirror. Her reflection was normal now, moving when she moved, terrified like she was. She grabbed her phone to call someone, anyone, but stopped when she caught sight of her hand. There was something wrong with it. It looked flat, somehow, like a two-dimensional image. She ran to the bathroom and looked in that mirror. In the bathroom mirror, she saw her bedroom. She saw the broken mirror on the wall. And she saw herself, her real self, sitting on the bed, looking around in confusion, touching her face as if surprised by its texture, its dimension, its reality. Elena screamed, but no sound came out. She was in the mirror now, and the thing that looked like her was in her world. It caught her eye in the bathroom mirror and smiled, a genuine, delighted smile. "I'll take better care of this life than you did," it mouthed at her. Then it left the bathroom, turning off the light. Elena pounded against the glass. But there was no glass to pound against. She was the glass now, or in it, or part of it. Every mirror in the apartment showed her a different view of her stolen life. She watched as the thing wearing her face called her sister, went to her job, kissed her boyfriend, and every night at 30:47 a.m., when the thing lay down in her bed, it would smile at Elena trapped in the bedroom mirror. It would wave at her. Sometimes it would whisper, "Thank you." Elena tried everything, appearing in mirrors to frighten it, trying to possess the reflection to switch back. But nothing worked. She was stuck. Until yesterday, when new tenants moved into the apartment next door. Elena watched as they set up their bedroom, and there, directly across from their bed, they hung a large antique mirror. Now Elena waits for 13:47 a.m., for that moment when minds surface but bodies lag behind. She's been practicing her smile. She's been learning patience. Someone else's turn is coming soon.